Okay, well, it is noon, so I think we'll go ahead and get started. Um, so first of all, welcome. Thank you for attending this next event in the virtual Lunch and Learn series. These events are always held at noon on the third Thursday of every month, and they always highlight a university library's activity, service, technology, or in this case, a collaboration which advances student, faculty, and community success. And the programs are always free and open to the public. So if you know someone who would be interested in an upcoming event, feel free to share the registration link with whoever. But this event is the center of it all. The Writing Center and University Libraries partnership promotes writing and research at Ball State University. Since 1959, the Writing Center has supported writers at Ball State. While the center is most well known for free peer tutoring services, they also educate through workshops, presentations, writing communities, studio space, and online resources for writers. Additionally, they build relationships across campus to promote writing, and one of the most significant partnerships is with Ball State University Libraries. And this presentation will discuss that unique partnership which unites writing and research on campus. It's the Writing Center's philosophy that all writers improve with practice and feedback. And now writers can get writing and research support in one location. And for this event, our guest speaker is Catherine Green. And a little bit about her. Prior to becoming an instructor of English at Ball State University, Kat was a teaching assistant for the writing program. She earned her BFA in graphic design in 2005, her MA in journalism in 2008, and MA in rhetoric and composition in 2013, all from Ball State University. She's the winner of a Writing Program Summer Research Fellowship and Writing Program Outstanding Teaching Award. She was also a Graduate Assistant of the Year nominee and received a Faculty Recognition nomination. She is also co-author of the digital textbook, Research, Composition, and Argument for a Digital Age. So without further ado, I will hand things off to Kat.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me today. I am really excited to talk about this collaboration that we have going and all of the benefits that are available through the work that we're doing together between the Writing Center and university libraries. So I'm going to pull up my slides. And we'll get started. So I've broken down my conversation today into three parts. I'm going to talk first about what the Writing Center is at Ball State and who we are, what the Writing Center does, and then I'm going to focus on our collaboration with university libraries and how we're bringing together writing and research on campus. So who we are and what we are. The Writing Center has a long distinguished history at Ball State University. Since 1959, in 1959, the English department added a writing clinic as a required lab component to its writing courses. By 1966, the writing clinic had become a standalone unit where any student enrolled in a writing course could come get feedback. In the 1980s, the writing clinic became the Writing Center and permitted students in any course to use its services. And now, more than half a century later, we're continuing to survive and thrive. We continue to offer free feedback, planning, and accountability appointments for students or for faculty and staff. We have two locations here on campus. Our main location is in Robert Bell 295, and then our satellite location is in Bracken Library on the first floor. And this is kind of a big part of our collaboration with university libraries. We staff and train between 20 to 30 undergraduate and graduate tutors each year. And we work with them and train them to respond to text in various stages, various genres, various disciplines, and various modes. We're just as likely to work with a first-year student as we are to work with a graduate student on their dissertation. We see all kinds of things come in and out of the Writing Center each day and each week and each semester. Our tutors often represent majors from across campus. So some current and previous tutors have come from majors including English education, journalism, criminal justice, political science, creative writing, psychology, rhetoric and composition, TESOL and linguistics, and nutrition and dietetics. The Writing Center operates underneath, a philosophy of practice. We strive to maintain these key tenets in our practice here at Ball State. We know that writing research asserts that writing is a lifelong practice, and we improve as writers with continuous practice and feedback, direct instruction, and access to resources. Research also tells us that writers struggle when they're writing in new genres, in new disciplines, in new languages or cultures, new media for new audiences, and when writing may be pressured by time or high stakes like grades. The Writing Center exists to help writers make forward progress on their current projects. Through instruction and modeling, we help writers transfer their knowledge from one writing task to another. We aspire to uphold these key tenets that are central to the work here at our Writing Center. Sessions at the Writing Center are shaped to intervene in the writing process so that writers get formative feedback when they need it. And so we support writing at Ball State in its many forms and by its many members. We offer individual feedback, workshops, class presentations, online resources, writing communities, and other approaches to support writers and to enrich local writing. I'm going to talk about some of those things here in just a little bit. We believe that all who write need feedback to improve, so we give response, praise, criticism, suggestions, so that writers can improve their projects. We help writers see the rhetorical dimensions of their texts, so how their writing might be perceived by a particular audience in a particular context and in a particular genre or medium. Ultimately, we let writers make all the decisions about their papers. We ask questions and offer suggestions and choices, but we also stress that there's no one way to write something or to do, writing tasks. We understand that writing and writing feedback can make people feel vulnerable, and so we honor and trust that writers. We honor the trust that writers put in place with us by, being welcoming and kind and thorough and engaged. The Writing Center is a site for equity and equality, and thus a site for fair, just, and democratic education. In our everyday actions and choices, we pay attention to issues of gender, race, sexuality, class, ability, culture, religion, political, and linguistic diversity in our own practice, and share experience through thoughts, questions, scholarship, and theories with others. We also consider the whole text. We understand that writing is no longer words on a page, and it often includes images, sounds, charts, design elements, animation, and so forth. So our feedback should be comprehensive. And ultimately, we rely on one another to make each other better. So I think this key tenet is really important to our conversation today because, we stress in the Writing Center that we don't do this alone. Tutors often rely on other tutors. They rely on the leadership team, and the leadership team often relies on other collaborations that we have going on in the university. And one of those specifically is the university libraries. So what we do, anyone at Ball State can make an appointment for free through our online scheduler. We work with writers on papers, presentations, websites, podcasts, literature reviews, lesson plans, theses, dissertations, scholarship applications, job materials, and much more. Sometimes writers come to us and they have a complete draft. Other times writers haven't started, or they're writing for a course assignment that maybe they need help breaking down the prompt. Maybe they're working on, job applications because they're about to leave the university. And so we cover all of that. We offer feedback on all of that. And writers can choose to work with us in person, either in Robert Bell or the library, but also online. We have 3 different types of appointments that writers can use. Our first one and our most kind of well-known one is our feedback session. And so this is for students who want feedback on writing that they currently have in progress. And this kind of session accounts for about 67% of our total sessions over the course of a year, an academic year. A planning session helps folks get started. So like I said, maybe they just got an assignment from a course, and they're not sure exactly what the assignment is asking them to do, or they don't understand a part of the assignment. They can bring that prompt in, and a tutor can help kind of get them on the right track, sort through that prompt to break down what the actual task is. Also, sometimes students come in and they're like, I'm so excited about this project. I have so many ideas. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. And then other times students are like, I need help generating ideas. And all of those are great for our planning sessions. And those make up about 20% of our academic year appointments. The last kind of session that we offer, which I think is really important, and it's one that I'll share a personal experience with, is accountability sessions. So these are sessions where a writer comes in and either wants a tutor with them while they write, or wants a tutor to help them set goals and move through a longer project. This kind of session is really great for graduate students who may be working on theses, research projects, dissertations, and they kind of work one of 2 ways. We know that writers get more work done when they schedule time that is dedicated to writing. And so signing up for an accountability appointment is one way that this can work for grad students, especially folks who maybe aren't in coursework anymore. They can make a regular appointment with us in the Writing Center. A tutor can be with them. If they have questions, great, the tutor's there to answer them. But if not, then it's the idea of proximal writing. I'm in a space that other writers are working, and that helps me write as well. The other way it works, and this is how I used it when I was completing my dissertation, is writers can come in and set up multiple appointments with a tutor, and in each appointment, they set a goal for the next one, and maybe they do a little bit of feedback, and then they adjust and work with their goals as well. So this is something that is really near and dear to my heart, because that's how I got my dissertation done. I made accountability appointments. My tutor's name was Kelsey. And working on a dissertation can be very lonely in that you're not in coursework anymore. So this really kind of helped me stay engaged with the community, the English department community, but also I felt accountable to Kelsey. I wanted to show up for her each week. I wanted to, keep that momentum going. And so that's how that helped me. And sometimes I came in and I felt really good. I made my goal for the week, and other times we had to revise, but Kelsey really helped me for that. Accountability sessions count for about 5% of our overall academic year sessions. And so I have some more fun facts about the Writing Center for you. More than 40% of our writers make more than one appointment. If you look at my little pie chart, I know it's a little hard to read on the slide, but 40% of our writers are first year, identify as first year students. 18% of our writers are sophomores. 9% of our writers are juniors. 6% of our writers are seniors. 22% of our writers are graduate students, and 3% are faculty 2% identify as other. That might be somebody who's maybe between academic levels, or they're in their second year, but they technically have credits that are freshmen. It might also be student, or it might also be staff members that identify as other. About 15% of our appointments in the Writing Center are with multilingual writers whose first language is not English. 53% of our sessions are online and use video and or audio. And I think this is an important point to point out, that before COVID, our online sessions were more like 36% of our overall sessions were online. And then of course, COVID hit, and really all of our sessions were online as we navigated through the pandemic and hybrid learning. And then after coming back face to face, I don't mean to imply that COVID is over, but coming back face to face, we've maintained a pretty significant level of online sessions. And we were really well kind of positioned to handle that switched between going online, going hybrid, coming back to in person, because of our previous work in doing online sessions as well. 96% of our writers have rated their session as excellent or very good, and 93% of them say that they will return. Some other services that we offer are customized workshops across campus. Instructors, residence halls, student organization leaders often reach out to us when they want somebody from our team to help them create a workshop for their students or their members. Some of our recent workshops have included how to do a literature review, how to create an infographic, or how to write a personal statement for graduate school. This is also an area where we have collaborated with university libraries and the Learning Center to do joint presentations. So most recently, we did Starting a Research Project, What to Know Before You Dive In. So there was some information from university libraries, there was information from the Writing Center, and there was information from the Learning Center. And that was a really successful presentation that we actually did more than once. We did a couple semesters in a row. We also provide hours for faculty and graduate students to write. So one of the things that writing research has really kind of picked up on lately is the idea of proximal writing. And so if you think about it, like a lot of folks will say, oh, I like to go to the coffee shop to write or to do my homework or whatever. I like to go to the library to do my homework. I feel like it's more focused. And that's really what proximal writing is. It's being in a space around other writers. And so we try to leverage this in the Writing Center. For the past few years, we've been able to offer programming to faculty where we host something for 3 hours. We host a program for 3 hours on Friday mornings called Faculty Breakfast Club, where faculty can come in to the Writing Center. They can get some writing work done. It's scheduled on their calendar, and they're also in an environment where other writers are writing alongside them. In addition to that, we do writing time for graduate. We've done writing time for graduate students as well. The same idea where, we have space for them in the Writing Center for a couple hours where they're writing with other graduate students. And we do several collaborations with the graduate school. The big one that we do is called a Write Start, where we host a day-long writing event for folks who are working on research projects, theses, or dissertations. And we sprinkle mini lessons in the day, like, how to cultivate good writing habits, how to avoid procrastination, how do you manage just kind of like the logistics of doing a project, keeping up with your deadlines and drafts and planning and scheduling and all of that. And then we have some lightly structured writing time as well. So the idea is it's early in the semester and it gives grad students kind of like a jump start into their projects or a little extra burst of motivation at the beginning of the semester. The Writing Center is also a site for research and professional practice. So our undergraduate and graduate tutors complete extensive training, not just when they're hired, but ongoing professional development on writing theories, best tutoring practices, genres, convention, citation styles, We also spend a lot of time talking about anti-racist pedagogies, reflective practices, and writing center research. Our leadership team and our undergraduate and graduate students often participate in writing center research and present at workshops or conferences like East Central Writing Center Association and the International Writing Center Association Conference. Other conferences have included National Conference on Peer Tutoring in Writing, conducting research with other faculty in this field. So now we're going to talk a little bit about our partnership with the library. The partnership between the Writing Center and university libraries is grounded in the idea that the writing process is not just typing on a keyboard. The writing process involves thinking, researching, reading, note-taking, revising, and it's recursive, and it goes back and forth between writing and reading and research and reflecting and notes. But research has told us that often students think about research and writing as their own separate process. And so the goal of partnering with university libraries is to unite research and writing. Simon et al. 2000 states that the relationship between writing centers and library programs reinforces the relationship between research and writing. This is also echoed by other researchers like Ferrer in 2012. The partnership between Writing Center and the library has a couple things that really make sense. So first of all, we provide overlapping services. The library and the Writing Center provide services that supplement what students are learning in their coursework, whether that be through handouts or one-on-one sessions with a librarian, or or a Writing Center session. Like, we're supplementing the work that they're doing in their classes. We're helping students to succeed. So we offer a lot of services that make getting help easy. The library and the Writing Center both have a chat box on their websites where students can quickly ask a question. Hey, I forgot where the period goes in my citation. Can you help me? And that really aids in student success. We also assist faculty. Both of us provide workshops or classroom instruction, handouts, that kind of thing that can help faculty with their courses. One example where you can really see kind of this overlapping between Writing Center and the library is, as I mentioned earlier, 40% of our writers are first-year students, which means they're in English 104 or English 103. Both of these courses have a research writing component to them. Predominantly 104 is the research writing course. And so, we see a high level of research writers, or maybe new research writers. And a lot of times they're asking the Writing Center questions that would also be appropriate to ask a librarian. I'm trying to find sources. I don't understand the databases. I'm not really sure about citation styles and things like that. And so again, we really see this kind of like overlap where partnership, it provides a really ripe opportunity for partnership. We also share collective goals. So the idea of partnering libraries and writing centers together goes back decades. And it's because of these shared goals that they have. It provides such a valuable opportunity to collaborate. Some of these goals include supporting student success, which ultimately leads to supporting retention through our resources. Like I said, making help convenient for students. So the chat boxes is one example, but physically locating ourselves together in the same building, the way we have the outpost in Bracken Library, it's almost 10 steps to the reference desk. And we know that the more convenient we can make getting help, the better. Sharing space allows us to share resources and to cross-promote. And we also know that having a location in which writers can get help in both areas helps them overcome the challenges they may face. So, if a writer is frustrated with their research project, they may feel like, well, I have to go to the library and get help, or I have to go to the writing center and get help. If we think of those things as two separate spaces, the likelihood of that writer going to both to get help is not as good as the likelihood that they're going to come to the library writing center collaboration, where if a writer is in a writing center session and we have a question, we can walk them to the reference desk. Hey, we have a research question. We're not 100% sure on this. And so again, it allows us to share space and resources and cross promote each other in what we do. The location, the satellite location and sharing space also allows writing and research to really be at the heart of campus. So, Bracken Library is a central location on campus, and now we've moved a writing center satellite there. It's a physical representation of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring research and writing together. We're in one location and we're centered at the heart of the university. Students are more likely to use the resources if they are together. This was observed at New Mexico State University by Mick Laffey in 2008. So like I said, this isn't a new idea. It's been around for a long time. And what we've learned from previous schools is how we're kind of shaping our collaborations as well. The benefits of this collaboration, like I said, it helps support student retention. It makes getting help more accessible and convenient. It allows us to share resources. It can help students overcome challenges, and it centers writing and research at the heart of campus. And so our collaboration actually works in 3 phases. The first phase is locating the writing center within the library. So we have a satellite location. It's on the first floor west. It's got several stations, or I guess you could call stalls. There's about 5 of them. And so each of these stalls, this is an example, this picture is one of the stalls, has a different orientation of furniture. There's whiteboards, there's access to computers, and so it's a welcoming space. It's a space that makes, again, like I said, easier for us to get resources if we need them, but also easier for students to get help in one location. The second phase, which is something that we're moving into, is more integration between writing center tutors and research assistants. And so what this looks like is more training between the 2 centers. So that might mean library, they have, like we have student teachers, they have student research assistants. Maybe they do some of our training, for best writing practices, best tutoring practices, those kind of things. And maybe we do some training on their research practices, best research practices. And we go back and forth between these 2 areas. It's also a place where we can, again, share resources and be more integrated with each other. And it provides opportunities for collaborations, workshops, handouts, and things like that, specifically webinars or workshops and information literacy instruction sessions. The third phase, which is a little hard to talk about because it's in the future, but essentially the third phase would be a more revamped space in something that would be considered like a learning commons. This is becoming more and more prominent in colleges across the universe, across America, is to see this idea of like learning commons and resources in one space. The collaboration has been written into the library's current fundraising campaign, and some language from this campaign sounds like this. Since research and writing remain critical to any project, digital or otherwise, Bracken Library will expand its partnership with the Department of English to host a research and writing studio within the Learning Commons, integrating research and writing support centers inside the main library has become best practices for universities, institutions such as Brigham Young and Oregon State have done so and doubled the number of students they have support. And to add to that, New Mexico State is another university that has an integrated library and writing center. So again, this campaign stresses that writing and research are linked practices that incorporate various technology and modes. Collaboration between the Writing Center and the libraries makes sense given the overlapping services and goals to increase student success and ultimately student retention. The physical location of the Writing Center and research services is a testament to the important relationship that situates it at the heart of Ball State's campus. So thank you so much for having me today. I would be happy to answer questions. Maybe, there we go. If you have any.
Pat, this is Lisa Gerald, and we met years and years ago. I used to be in information services for a while.
Yeah, I remember, Lisa.
Yeah. So it's great to see you too. And I am really happy that you guys are here in the library space with us. I really love the idea of those accountability sessions that I didn't realize that you all offered those. And that's a really great idea. And I'm wondering if you think that that would be something that students would benefit from, a kind of a similar thing for like the research part of the writing process.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to have some kind of research accountability session. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, but I know in the Writing Center, we have kind of different opportunities for people to use the accountability sessions, like I said. So one is kind of like an independent, you're in the space with other writers. We're here for you if you have a question. There's a lot of writing centers that actually operate on that model all the time. It's considered a studio model, where there's a space for writers to write, and then there's kind of like floating tutors, if you will, for folks who have questions. But then there's the more structured kind, which really served me when I was a student, where somebody sat down with me and made goals with me, and we kind of mapped things out. And I think sometimes, especially with research writing, students get very overwhelmed. And we know from, I know from Writing Center research that one of the reasons students procrastinate is because they just don't know where to start, or they don't understand the assignment. So I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, we offer those research consultations to students. And I have a lot of folks who will schedule them throughout the semester, just sort of, I need to talk to you every other week or whatever. So I think they're kind of doing that on their own, but I was just curious about your take on a more formal.
So I would be interested to see, if you tried it for a semester, what kind of results you had, because I bet you would find that once you got the word out, it would be very popular.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks. And thanks for talking with us today.
Of course. Thanks again.
Okay, well, if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or put them in the chat or whatever. But I just wanted to say thank you, Kat, for doing this presentation. I know the Dean of University Libraries, Matthew Shaw, was and is super excited about this partnership. I think, like you said, the overlapping services, it just makes sense for us to be located in the same building. So thank you for all that extra context to the partnership.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I know this is kind of a lot to take in, so if you're thinking about it later and you have a question, please feel free to reach out. I put my email up there for you. And yeah, thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, well, this meeting, it'll be uploaded to the University Library's YouTube channel. So if you want to share it with someone, feel free. Yeah, but thanks everyone for attending, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.